Buffalo Bills were playing with their food, specifically on defense a bit in that first half against the New Orleans Saints. But then Cole Bishop made a game-changing play that might just change the trajectory of his season and career with the Buffalo Bills. Look where he started on this play where the Saints try to run a little Philly special. He started on the eye of the Buffalo Bills. Only one guy could make this play, and Cole Bishop did it. On today's show, we're going to talk about the Bills finally getting what they've been waiting for in a big-time starting safety, second-year player Cole Bishop. Look at that one-handed grab that he made on the Chris Olave throw. That was Cole Bishop making that play way more than a bad ball from Chris Olave. We're going to talk about it and break it all down in just a moment. First, though, I'm getting a head start on Week 5. We're going into a sub-battle, a divisional sub-battle against Patriots today, and I need your help. 0-0 right now. Can I get a bunch of new members of the Mafia to hit that subscribe button to the Bills Breakdown for free, informative Bills content every single day, and so we can beat the Patriots off the field before we beat them on the field? Do the Bills have a starting level safety? Could the Bills have an above-average safety in their room in Cole Bishop? Second-year player, really was kind of riding the bench for most of his rookie season, but now is making an impact as he has taken the starting role alongside Taylor Rapp in year 2. And he came into the season a little bit hobbled, injured throughout training camp, didn't really see good reps up until the third preseason game. His second preseason game against the Chicago Bears was not good at all. And then, that third preseason game, we saw some flashes. He really kind of come into his own a little bit. He had his first sack against the New York Jets in Week 2 and has only really gotten better to me as the season has gone along. And in Week 4 against the Saints, it wasn't just that big-time play that he made at the goal line. He was making plays all over the field. And per PFF, he graded out really, really well in Week 4. Overall grade of a 65.9. That's about league average. Above league average, though, in the run defense category. So that was really, really good, considering the Bills' run defense is Swiss cheese. And that's kind of philosophical in the way that they run things, but still a lot of missed tackles out there. Not from Cole Bishop, though, who had an 83.8 tackling grade. A 60.6 coverage grade. Who really cares at the end of the day? Because he made the play that turned the tide. He shifted momentum in this game. The Saints were going in, and they were getting the ball after the half. And you know what? Everybody in the Bills building kind of recognized that this was a massive, massive play. Saints could have gone in there, taken the lead, and then gone out there and double-dipped into the second half and taken a double-digit lead on the Bills. And they really were kind of on their heels for the most part. The Bills were getting the ball run down their throat. If the Saints had scored it before the half and then scored to open the second half, they could have kind of controlled things on the ground for the rest of the game. And Cole Bishop went out there and made a play. I mean, it looks like Odell Beckham on this damn thing. Unbelievable. And everybody kind of recognized that this was the play of the game, and it's going to take kind of Cole Bishop to the next level here as the season goes along. Terrell Bernard saying this: it was a huge play. The first thing I told him is that he saved points. They had a field goal that was coming up and possibly a touchdown there, a play that really changed the game. He has fought his way to get to this point. We know he's going to continue to get better. Here's A.J. Epinesa talking about it. He says, got up, one-handed play, and he snagged it. Stayed in bounds and just incredible. And then he threw a hit as he was falling out of bounds. By the way, A.J. Epinesa had a front row seat to this whole ordeal. He was right on the right sideline there. He leaned into a guy trying to tackle him just to give him a little something extra. That's the kind I might see on SportsCenter's top 10 type thing. And then just keep watching it over and over because I'm like, dude, that shit was dope. That was dope. Other players on the Bills' defensive side of the ball also gave praise. Dorian Williams was saying that it was a heck of a play, game-saving play. Cam Lewis was talking about how it was an unbelievable play. So Cole Bishop is getting reassurance, confidence instilled with him, not only from the play, but from the people around him on that defense as well. And that'll trickle out to the rest of the players on that Bills defensive depth chart too. Sean McDermott didn't go crazy with any glaze, but he did say this as well. It was a huge play in the game. They score before half, potentially. They come out with the ball after half, and now you're talking about potentially a 14-point situation there. So, look, everybody's recognizing that Bishop made the play of the game, and this is only going to make him better as he grows in his NFL career. It goes beyond just the one play for Bishop. This has been a culmination of the work that he's put in from year 1 to 2. Here's what he had to say after the game. He said, I worked really hard this offseason. He said, so being able to have a little bit of success was awesome. And I think that a little bit of success is going to turn into a lot of bit of success. The Bills coaching staff, they have been kind of anticipating this growth, anticipating this sophomore leap from Cole Bishop here when they gave him that starting spot. They knew that DeMar Hamlin wasn't a starting level safety in this league, and it was time for Bishop to kind of take that next step and assert himself at the top of the depth chart. He has done so, and it looks like he's going to continue to do so as we get further along. More from Dorian Williams here. He said that's just giving him the momentum to grow his confidence in this league, playing with that confidence and just becoming the guy on the back end. I know all the coaches and everybody was looking forward to him taking that role this year. And then Jordan Phillips, who got his first elevation of the season, said this. I love that for Cole. He came in, a lot of people expected a lot of things from him, and he gets in there and makes a big play. I'm sure that was a big relief for him as well. He's smart. He gets in early. He puts in the work. And then all that work you put in, and you finally get to go out and, show the world what you've been working on, that has to be a great feeling. I know from how hard he works that it's going to take something off of his shoulder. Now he can excel. And that's kind of a big takeaway from all this, right? He comes in off of injury, and maybe he thinks he's got to overcompensate. He's got to, exude a little bit of extra effort and stress to be able to make these plays. No, he's just kind of staying in his lane, and he sniffed that play out from the beginning. And that's one of my favorite things about Cole Bishop is he has this instinctual nature to him where if he sees something, he's going to go to something. And he saw a trick play that the Saints trying to get cute, made a play on the football. And A.J. Epinesa kind of concluded with saying one play can start the avalanche. I don't think this will be the last interception we see for Cole Bishop this season. I don't think it'll be the last sack we see from Cole Bishop this season when he had one in Week 2 against the Jets. More big plays are coming, and the Bills, I believe now, have a real starting safety in Cole Bishop. Show some love to him down in the comment section right now. Type his jersey number 24 in the comment section below. I want to see 124s when I look at the comment section later tonight. So if you love Cole Bishop and you love that play that he made, basically saving the game, go show him some love. Type his jersey number 24 down below. I don't think it's perfect, but I do feel better about the safety room now. Taylor Rapp was okay in Week 4, but overall, this leap, this big-time playmaking ability from Cole Bishop here. A lot of people, by the way, tell me that the Bills can't, they can't rely on turnovers. They can't rely on making a play. Well, they are bending, not breaking. The defense as a whole still has a lot to work on as far as the tackling department goes, the run defense goes, staying in gaps goes, misdirections they get caught on all the time. But from what we saw from one specific defensive player, I think they can take a lot away from that, and it's only going to make him better as the season goes along. Can't say the same thing about the cornerback position. Trey White, I don't know if he can be the Bills starting CB2 for the foreseeable future here as far as this season goes. Because Max Harrison, he's still on IR. They're not going to probably not going to activate him this week. And is he ever going to get into that real starting cornerback job with how much time he's missed this season so far? I highly doubt that. Time will tell, but the cornerback position does not look great with Trey White getting 2 holding calls. They're trying to mix in Dorian Strong a little bit. We'll see how much that goes on for the rest of the middle of the season here, but I'm not super confident in the Bills secondary as a whole. Coverage was not good against the Saints generally in Week 4. Next, we'll talk about other skill positions on the offensive side of the ball. We'll get to the offensive backfield after talking about the defensive backfield because there was a little bit of a shakeup going on with the snap count and who's playing the majority of the game against New Orleans. We'll talk about that in just a moment. First, though, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks because you and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid and get you up to 2,000 times your money watching the Buffalo Bills in one lineup this season because it's daily fantasy made easy. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. Whether it's pro football, college football, baseball playoffs are here, basketball around the corner as well. You can mix and match all these different sports, and you can get awesome deals on PrizePicks as well, like a free $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup, but you got to use our promo code CLNS. You can see in the bottom right of our screen. And if I've been talking gibberish to you, you have no idea what I'm saying, I'll just show you. I hit on PrizePicks on Sunday. I had James Cook more than fantasy score. I had Bucky Irving more than fantasy score. I had Trevor Lawrence less than fantasy score. I had Nick Chubb and Tony Pollard less than rushing yards. And I had another one as well. I went 5 of 5. 30 for 450. You can tell my picks or fade. I'm just doing it PrizePicks when I show you a new lineup. Download the app today and use the code CLNS for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You have to win it to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Let's look at the Bills' offensive snap counts here for skill position players because there are a couple of things that jump out to me here. Keon Coleman getting 43 snaps here, 73%. He is the X receiver, and it's not a guy who could typically be subbed in and out on certain packages, so it makes sense that he played 73% of the snaps there. Jackson Hawes getting the most snaps of the tight end group, 53%, with the Bills, running the ball a lot, that could make sense a little bit. We'll talk more about the tight ends in a second. Khalil Shakir, second most receivers snaps with 31, also at 53% there. Dawson Knox, though, second in the tight end group with 24 snaps, 41%. And then Dalton Kincaid, who's having that breakout season, 22 snaps only in Week 4 against the Saints. Did have that touchdown, though. Curtis Samuel got his first elevation of the season. He had 20 snaps. Elijah Moore had 18, both of those 34 and 31% respectively. And Josh Palmer, 15 snaps, 25%. A quarter of the snaps? A quarter of the snaps for a guy that you paid $10 million a season? I don't know what it is. Is it an injury? Is it they don't think he's that good a player? Is it just a bad investment overall? I'll tell you right now, you can't have this. You can't have a guy making $10 million a year and not playing 30% of the snaps. I think that's utterly ridiculous. This guy was brought in to be the wide receiver, to be the other boundary receiver, replace Amari Cooper, be a good route runner. And look, through the first couple weeks of the season, yeah, his separation numbers have not been great, but he had a catch in the opening couple series of this game and really saw no action the rest of the way. Thought that was a little odd, and I'm going to be interested to see how they utilize him as the season goes along. Maybe it was just a different game script. Maybe the situation, the environment was just a little bit different, not really catered to what the Bills need Josh Palmer for, but I do think that 25% is a little bit concerning. And so does Joe Buscaglia of The Athletic. He said the following. This is likely not what they had in mind for a player they signed to a lucrative free agent contract. He's been more of a bit player than a locked-in starter, and it calls into question whether a nagging injury is keeping the Bills from deploying him more often, or if it's just how they feel is the best way to utilize him. If there's one thing I'm confident in, I do feel confident that Josh Palmer is still a good football player. He's still a player who has got elite route running skills, is good on the boundary, can be a vertical threat down the field, but at the end of the day, one of his big-time skill sets, being a vertical threat, deep shot down the field, isn't really something the Bills have been doing a whole heck of a lot. Josh A-Dot has been pretty low. He hasn't been throwing a lot of 10, 20-yard air yard throws, So Josh Palmer hasn't been able to be totally utilized, but that doesn't mean that the Bills shouldn't be drawing more things up for him. I think he's a good player, and he deserves to be out there on the field more. Speaking of who deserves to be out on the field more, what the hell, man? Third most tight end snaps for Dalton Kincaid? I think that's utterly ridiculous considering the production that he's had to start this season. 3 touchdowns, I believe, at least, through the first 4 weeks of the season. That's already tying a career high, if not already a career high for Dalton Kincaid. I think he only had 2 last season. And this is a guy who has elevated his game in multiple areas, not just as a receiver. They hit him on that fake screen wheel down the sideline yesterday. Wide open touchdown was awesome, but that was his only reception of the game. He wasn't really even featured up until then. And this is a guy who's gotten better as an inline blocker, gotten better overall just strength-wise, and as a receiver as well at the catch point. His hands have gotten better. And we're not rewarding him with the most tight end snaps. But I get it, though. Jackson Hawes with by far the most of the tight end room. It makes sense with how much the Bills were running the football yesterday. Tyrell Shavers got a good bit involved as well. He only had 1 less snap than Josh Palmer did. So if I'm the Bills, I would just like to get my best players on the field more often. And one of the best players in this offense right now, far and away, undoubtedly, is Dalton Kincaid. Speaking of the receiver room, though, I want to ask you guys this. Who's the best wide receiver here? Because all these guys got similar-ish snap counts. I mean, both these guys outsnapped Josh Palmer by a good margin in Week 4, but they paid Josh Palmer $10 million a season. What do you guys think? Type 5 for Josh Palmer, 18 for Elijah Moore, or 1 for Curtis Samuel. Who do you guys think is the best wide receiver here? And give me a follow over on Twitter if you want to talk about it some more. At Tyler J. Smith, 2 H's because the name's common, but I am not. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/BillsNews. We'll see you with another video tomorrow, probably a Bills versus Patriots preview if we get no crazy news before then. We'll see you, and as always, let's go, Buffalo.